March madness begins. March is the craziest, most intense and happening month in 2025. We're going to have two eclipses. We're going to have Venus and Mercury going retrograde. We're going to have Neptune moving into Aries. Bam, bam, bam. Each one of those events is big astrological events. Put all five together, and I called it March Madness. So this is very important to watch, to be prepared. The layers will be shifting, the directions of our lives with eclipses. Fated events get activated in our lives. With retrograde planets, we turn direction, we start changing how we feel, think, and feel about something. With eclipses, we totally derail the train onto another direction, basically. So, wow. And it's all happening in Aries, around the Aries area. But actually, to know specifically how this is going to affect you, you can, even if you're not looking at this video, you can just go to my transit calendar, personal transit calendar at astrolada.com, enter your birth details. No one else in the world will have the same transits like you have. These videos that I do for each of the 12 signs, they're just for your ascendant sign or sun sign or moon sign. But this calculator calculates every position of the planet in your horoscope. Is it Saturn? Is it Mercury? Is it Venus? And it gives you the transits that you're going to have day by day. It's only free for 7 days, but each 7 days it gets updated. So you always see 7 days ahead, but you can open for a longer period. And if you want to see those eclipses, one in Virgo, one in Aries, will directly affect you, you can check. For example, this is my horoscope. The eclipse is directly affecting me. It's conjunct my Mercury. It will totally turn around anything connected with Mercury in my horoscope. And look how many extensive interpretations there are. Or what other transits will retrograde Venus directly? They affect you directly. You look at transits of Venus. Oh yes, retrograde Venus will be opposite my Jupiter. Retrograde Venus will be square trine my Uranus. You can see much more specifically than those videos how you will be affected. And of course, we end with Neptune in Aries. Crazy. The eclipse, I don't know what's going to happen with the world. Let me just be honest. There might be big revelation of markets with those retrogrades, Mercury and Venus next to Saturn, next to Neptune, eclipse on the same degree. Some big news with wars and peace, because it's all happening in Aries. The world either getting in arms or disarming. I don't know which way it goes exactly. Big eclipse, lunar eclipse in Virgo. Virgo is the sign of the working class people, is the sign of the medical and hospital industries and the diseases as well. So where is going to hit us from? I don't know. This eclipse in Virgo is exactly opposite Saturn and opposite Neptune. So you have to be more careful with health, because this is the axis of illnesses, diseases as well, water, matters connected to water. But then all the action is also in Aries. So we have water, fire. Let's start. I'm not going to go for the whole world, but individually, because you're important, how you're going to deal with these energies in your life. And believe me, this is once in a year, very rare opportunity, a lifetime, to really reset in a big way a certain area of your life where all this action is happening, whatever areas is. Let's begin. And by the way, I have 5-hour video for Neptune in Aries, for each one individually, only for personal predictions. It's only $20. It covers all possible transits Neptune can have to personal planets over the next 13 years, sextiles, trines, oppositions on Neptune through each house, and they're all full of personal stories that I've watched people for the last 20 years, how they overcome Neptune transit, what happens in their life. I give you many stories from the highest to the lowest, remedies how to deal with that, and I also explain to you how to find all the transits. Very easy, you don't need to know any astrology. This is my love of work, my work of love, sorry. Neptune's affecting me already. For you, if you'd like to get it, I'm putting a link below the description. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, March 2025. Virgo, all the important astrological events pretty much are happening either in your 8th house or in your sign in Virgo. So you'll be one of the signs that is most impacted this month and into April. First of all, we have Mercury and Venus going retrograde in your 8th house, eclipse in your 8th house, and Neptune entering your 8th house, all in March. What is 8th house? It's fast, sudden transformations, like U-turns, like a crisis through which you come out reborn, you come out with new person. 8th house is the house of shedding old skin and being reborn into new skin. So the house of death and rebirth, those themes will be very prevalent in March and April. I'm not saying you're dying, an old aspect of you might die. There might be, in some extreme cases, someone leaving or suddenly your life, but that's very small percentage, very, very small. But but they can be also sudden things that shake you up. The 8th house shake you up. 8th house rules the big events like meeting a soulmate, also a divorce, birth of a child, death of a person, getting an inheritance. These are like life-changing kind of things that can happen when the 8th house is activated, even though it's not directly aspecting you. But we have to give credit to the energy of the 8th house, its transformations. And I've gone many times through stelliums. It's going to be a stellium in an 8th house. And sometimes it's just much more time where you're introspective about your psychology, about your motivations, about your deep psychology and motivations and so on. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. But sometimes it can really kind of have like a big change in life, switch from one direction to another. While the other major event is eclipse, lunar eclipse in your first house. So if it doesn't come from the 8th house, the transformation is going to come through the eclipse in your first house. But now let's start one by one. First, on the 1st of April, Venus goes retrograde in your first house, as 8th house. It's going to be retrograde the whole March until the middle of April there. And then Mercury joins it from the 15th, 14th of March. What can it mean? On the mundane level, it can mean the need to rebudget something. It's one of the financial houses, to reconsider your finances, how you spend, where you spend, especially if you have mutual finances with a spouse. There might be a change into the direction of the finances of your spouse or the support that they can provide, or rethinking that Mercury and Venus really ultimately want to make a house more balanced and fair. So if someone is taking more from you, business partner, marriage partner, friend, than they're giving back, you'd become strongly aware of those influences. You'd become strongly aware, like, why is it always me paying the bill? Or why is it me who I have to clean the house and take care of the kids and work at the same time? But, my spouse doesn't have to do that. Or why? Or it can be the opposite. The partner can call you out, or a person in your life. Why is it that I'm contributing and giving more energy or more time or more money in this direction while you're not pulling your weight? It can come either way. So such inequalities in give and receive will be addressed now. And of course, it can create some tension because these are very sensitive topics. That's why it's in the 8th house, the taboo topics. How much you give, how much you receive. It can be also about the sex. Why do I ask you more and you want less from me? Or why do you always want more? And maybe you need to renegotiate. I can't be a bunny, or something like that. Sometimes it's about the intimate sexual life that you have to do some reevaluations. Or maybe with a business partner. Or maybe you can rethink your strategy, because 8th house is money of your clients as well. You can rethink your strategy about over the next couple of months, how you can address gains through clients, And by May, you can see that you're making twice as much, because these two planets are benefic, Venus and Mercury. Even if they make surprises there with finances initially, so you can think of an alternative ways to do it, see that there is a better way, harmonious way, or maybe they can be that you discover that there's some alternative sources of finances or support that you didn't tap to before. You overlooked them. Maybe your partner has some skills or that they can contribute that you weren't aware of, and you can harness to help you together mutually. Maybe a business associate that you work with, a collaborator. Sometimes you can find out that they were doing something behind you with their money or mutual monies. Or sometimes you can see, oh, you can contribute more. You have this untapped resource. Let's put it into use for both of us. But this is others people's resources a lot. So you might become aware of either such resources that come to you that you weren't aware of before, but also some such resources that you rely on can be taken away from you, or you might let go of them so you can find a more harmonious or better source. And if you're open to the universe, even if you let go of some, others will come to you from another direction. Eighth house is the house of intimacy, sex, and ultimately Venus and Mercury really want to help you become more intimate on a deeper level. It's the house of getting pregnant as well. There is an activation there, who knows? It's the house of surgeries. If you have to do something, you have to do it now. You can't avoid it. Venus and Mercury retrograde, they're benefic planets. So, if it happens, it happens. And usually it means it will go well because these are Venus and Mercury, not malefic, scary planets. Or redoing a surgery. I remember someone had Mars or Venus retrograde in the 8th house, and she did a corrective surgery to something she'd done before, like she didn't like how her breasts were and she removed the implants or whatever during that time. So sometimes it can be something like that. Or it can just be that you're more focused on 8th house topics, conspiracies, secrets. A lot of secrets can come out. Venus and Mercury retrograde in the 8th house. Don't be surprised if this happens. Or someone might be confiding in you. Some secret piece of information can come to you that will help you later on. I've even seen when there is retrograde planets in the 8th house, especially the more benefic, that the person gets a confidential piece of information that is very like a tip where to finance, where to put in a stock market that can make them later on quite rich. Hidden money is the 8th house, confidential information. 2 planets there, Venus and Mercury retrograde, can help you tap into such information. But don't take risks financially to pull all your money from one place and invest in a totally brand new money, or say stock or whatever. Then there will be some shakeup there, especially if it's connected to stocks, to investments with others and so on. There will be the need to some reevaluation, shifting, but maybe do out during March until the middle of April, more like you might pull out certain investments, or you might get returns back from previously invested things. You might get returns back, retrograde planet, returns back from previous investments. But if there's some shakeups, you pull out the investments, look around and research. It's a good house for research. And when Venus and Mercury turn retrograde from the middle of April, then invest in the new direction. But there might be the need of some shifts and changes with finances, with mutual resources and so on. Or you might just be very invested in right now in 8th house topics: astrology, psychology, secrets, conspiracies, hidden information that you're digging out, and you're finding a lot of stuff and you're fascinated about that. And if you're an astrologer or tarot reader, or someone who works in emergency, or someone who works with other people's money, this can be a very big and important month for you with all those 8th house activities. You can be thinking about deep topics like life after death, reading about such topics. And if you're not naturally inclined towards such topics, it can come to you because something is happening connected to those things around your life, which makes you go into those more deeper taboo topics. You might be digging past traumas and remembering things from the past and releasing them. Retrograde Venus and Mercury wants you to dig the secrets, to dig deep into the things that you have locked emotionally, to become aware of it and to release it and to be free emotionally so you can connect in a better, intimate, and deeper way with others. You can be examining topics of trust with others, of trust and value of others in your life as well. But also it's very much a house of, as we call, sex and intimacy and soulmates. So some of you might reconnect with an old soulmate or reconnect with an old intimate relationships, for example, or re-examining a current intimate relationship, try to reconnect, to restart, to think how they can do things better for more intimacy and more trust together there. Sometimes those topics can be painful, but ultimately it really wants to make those more darker, those planets want to shine more light on those darker, more difficult topics that it's hard for us to approach, whether it's about money with others, whether it's about intimacy, secrets, and trust. All right, and then there is an eclipse in Virgo on the 14th, the same day that Mercury goes retrograde. It's one after another, guys, for you, Virgo. This eclipse is at 22 degrees Virgo. It's exactly opposite Saturn, the Sun, and very close opposite Neptune. So those Virgos that are from 20 to 26, 7 degrees, they're having it harder this month. And not necessarily harder, it's more like expect the unexpected. The eclipse is there to realign you to your higher, to realign you to your higher mission, to realign you to the right track. So if you've been off the right track, eclipses can be crisis prone. So some big change in your life with the sun, important person shift in a life, a male person, or with your goals and directions, with your career, with your health, with your moon as well, can be health, or big shakeup in the family, or personal relationships with the ascendant. All of those things can be. And if there is a big crisis, you're veered off a lot of the right path, and this eclipse will realign you. If you align to your path, this eclipse just ushers in something very important and fated in your life. And it's a full moon eclipse. It's kind of also relationship based. It can be something big that happens over the next 3 months, indication of something big that happens over the next 3 months, not just in March, because this eclipse is 3 months, like a marriage, a divorce sometimes, or we need to look at the personal individual circumstances to say, this eclipse will be right on the sun of my little brother, right opposite the sun of my daughter. So I don't know, or a father figure if it's the sun, sometimes something important happening. But some big realignment on the tracks of your life. This is derailment. And if you're on the right track, it's just something very pivotal, important, good happens. If you're a bit off the right, it can feel a bit bumpy. So you return to the right path or taken to the right path. It's very hard to be specific, but there is this also side of it, like a rebirth for you with all those planets in the 8th house, personal transformation. And eclipses are about shedding old skin, especially lunar eclipses with the south node. A part of you is dying. You're leaving one role you used to play in your life behind because you're being reborn and spun into the 8th house energy for a new role. So there is a new role coming into your life, a new mission that you might be called into with the eclipse on your ascendant, sun or moon, a new direction. I remember every time, the 2 times I've gotten married, it was on eclipses on my sun. So it's not necessarily negative. It's those big shifts in life that are coming for the next 3-4 months ahead, and you have eclipses again in later degrees or earlier degrees in Virgo next autumn, then next spring 2026, and so on. So it's just the beginning now of your changing of your skin, and there might be the need to let go of something though. With the South Node eclipse, South Node carries the energies of the 8th house. In ancient astrology, South Node, Ketu, carries the energies of Scorpio, which is also the 8th house, as we know. It corresponds to the energy of the 8th house. And you have very 8th house scorpionic energy somehow for you, Virgos, that are showing that the next 2-3 months are about big transformations for you. This Scorpio, death and rebirth, and secrets coming to the surface, and personal power. Pluto is very much about personal power and letting go what is weakening you, and embracing something that will strengthen you. All right, and making big changes. That's Pluto. This is 8th house, the eclipse, the 8th house energy, and there is an eclipse as well on the 31st in your 8th house, Virgos. What more can I say? Another 8th house activation. So first you remove the toxic energies of your life, because 8th house also rules what is toxic for us. Might be obsessions, addictions, someone that is, as we talked, that is toxic in some way. Venus, Mercury, they will make you really, and if there is no such toxic energies, you might just remove toxic, like literally toxic mold from your house, or toxic, detox your life in some way. You might have a notion, throw up, or sometimes, or you might just do a detox, just as simple as that. This can be the 8th house energies, and Venus and Mercury. But if there is toxic energies, Mercury and Venus will make you very aware of them, to detox them, to remove them. And then the eclipse, which is a new moon eclipse, new beginnings in your 8th house, can give you, after you've cleaned up all the predatory energies, can allow you like a new source of grace from the universe, because this is where we receive as well from the 8th house, a new source of where you'll be, like a new source of income can come to you through another, or for your partner, or a new source of financial support can come to you by someone gives you an idea, or somehow involved with another's resources as well, or you can tap in others' resources. So it can be a new source of intimacy that appears on a deeper level. Again, this theme of pregnancies, death, rebirth, this eclipse activates it. New source of emotional inner strength that appears, and that you're not afraid of the dark, and you're not afraid of the people taking advantage of your predators or such shaky situations anymore. So very, very intense month for Virgos. And of course, Neptune enters your 8th house again. And it's going to be there for the next 14 years. Well, 6 months in 2025, and then from 2026, 13 years. Neptune everything is pushing you in that direction. Neptune will ask you to open yourself and trust the universe, that a lot of support can come to you to transcend because 8th house, the law of vibration is not to trust others, to doubt everyone, to think everyone is after you to do something. Maybe you have a right, because maybe you were abused, maybe there were some traumas. Neptune can heal those traumas gradually, wash away the mistrust, allow you to open up to help to come from the universe, usually even help from an unexpected source. And it can be financial abundance even, and to transcend your fears about, and to start believing that the universe can help you. The universe will prove it to you somehow. Transcend your limitations about this 8th house, thinking that every moment there will be a disaster. Every moment everything will turn and collapse, and someone will die, you will lose everything. This is the calamity mindset of the 8th house that Neptune wants you to transcend, and to have instead emotional strength and trust in the flow of life that is taking you to the right place. And it's a much more deeper and much more specific ways it can manifest in the 8th house. I give like 4 or 5 personal stories of people I've observed with Neptune in the 8th house, how it played out. For someone, they became very rich, and they were able to help a lot of people, this giving unconditionally through the 8th house. For another person, they didn't have to work, because someone was supporting them for 13, 14 years unconditionally. But you can watch all those stories and examples in my 5-hour webinar of Neptune in Aries, for the next, how it's going to affect you for the next 13 years, not just Neptune through the houses, but Neptune making any aspect possible, Neptune transiting your Pluto, Neptune square your Venus, Neptune sextile maybe your Mercury or something like that. If you're having any of those, I cover them all, and you don't need to know any astrology to understand this course, because I lead you like like your 5 through how to find any aspect you're gonna have. Very simple. You're not gonna learn astrology through this, believe me. You don't have to be a scientist. And I give all the examples and remedies how to deal with that. So Neptune can truly feel miraculous through your 8th house. As a Leo moon, I had Neptune in my 8th house for the last 14 years. And for me, the moon is very important because I'm night born. So I went through all of Neptune in the 8th house, and it was the most miraculous time of my life, where I really transcended all the 8th house calamity mindset I've had. And I received financial independence by through tapping into the resources of others and their talents, into the occult, astrology, 8th house is all of those things. So you have an opportunity to transcend limiting circumstances in your life through 8th house activities, whether it's astrology, whether it's psychology, whether it's other people's resources, whether it's stock investments. I cover all of those in my course, so check it out. Thank you.